Peter Allen's Vigor Transformations, and what I'm going to demonstrate today is a dumbbell low fly. So I showed one earlier, cable low fly. Similar movement pattern. It's honestly a little bit harder with dumbbells, just for the form's sake. Again, kind of like holding weights in general. I didn't show this with the cables, but we want to make sure that wrist is straight. All too often our triceps and forearms get too tight, forcing people to take this kind of, I call it a funky grip. But if you do, then you can kind of grab with I call it an open palm. Might not be the best thing if you're doing like a dumbbell chest press and things like that, but if you're careful enough, it's quite safe. So if you have trouble gripping and getting this to be a nice straight wrist, okay, put the thumb on the same side, and I'll kind of demonstrate with one. So I'm going to kind of bring it back a little bit, and I'm coming up, and I'm kind of coming in that arcing motion. So I'm pushing up with my chest as much as that I can. All too often, a lot of people will do this and they end up bending the elbow. Now that turns it more into a bicep curl. I want to keep my elbow kind of nice and stiff. And if I'm running this with two, coming in, I try to come in at a V position, so a slight angle. Again, very similar if I was doing like a fly. It's a great way to come into that V position. But I want to try and get that pinky up and keep the pressure. Again, very similar to an uppercut. It's a little bit further out than you would run an uppercut, technically. And I can run this squared off. I can run it offset. If you run it offset, just make sure that you switch the feet. Okay, all too often we get stuck kind of running the same foot, and then it starts to throw us off, okay, because we're just not targeting our legs enough, or because we're doing too many exercises with a certain lead. So I would always lead with my left, I realized. And then I became weaker with my right. So learning from my mistakes, so to speak. So if you don't have access to a cable machine, great alternative. Any questions, comments? Oh, big thing, gotta make sure head stays stable, okay? You gotta keep that head stable when you're exercising. It's, you know, you can get headaches, you start to get kyphosis. It changes and alters the exercise. If I do this and my head goes forward, my pec goes loose, okay? Now I'm in my deltoid. I gotta keep my head back. Head goes forward, this goes. So you gotta remember, if that head is moving when you're exercising, you're changing and altering the movement pattern altogether. Okay, thank you.